During my summer at the UN, I learned about the various departments of the United Nations, all the complex acronyms, and as for at the UN, the importance of compromise between countries, and finally, the vital role that civil society plays. The Loretto community, for example. We always see the final picture, such as the 17 Sustainable Development Goals, but so much hours and years of work go to create that final product.
During my summer at the UN, I learned about how within a larger institution, it's smaller groups of committed people that make it work. The civil society community of which Loretto is a part is full of wonderful, hardworking people who, for the most part, do all of their work behind the scenes. These are the people who do the research to support progressive ideals, who apply pressure to member states in ways that aren't politically feasible for other states to do. The UN is really propelled forward by civil society, who are just regular people who often go unsung. So it was invaluable to my experience this summer to learn about how broad the UN community is. And it really expanded my view of the UN in a way that no classroom based learning ever has.
From this internship, I'll just always remember what a unique experience it was to be able to be at the UN and a part of so many important meetings, especially the high level political forum at the end of July, which just made countries accountable for what they're doing for the 17 Sustainable Development Goals in regards to education and women empowerment and the environment. And from this, I hope to just be more aware of the environment, and the 17 Sustainable Development Goals are a real important issue that I hope to bring back with me to school in the fall and possibly start a program to make students more aware of the 17 Sustainable Development Goals because they're really important for our future. Um, and yeah.
I think that I'm going to take so much away from this internship, but one of the things is just putting a lot of new value on persistence and patience as strategies to make change collaboratively on the scale of the world because of its sheer vastness. The way that states and civil society organizations collaborate at the UN and how so many minds come together to try to push for the right things happening is just really incredible to watch. But also makes me realize how valuable it is when governments aren't listening to take things back to the grassroots level and push for things at a smaller scale. So I think I really, really am going to take away a sense of the vastness of the world and also the importance of acting locally.
What did I learn about Loretto? I actually came from Nearing's Hall, a Loretto school in St. Louis, Missouri. So I was just aware of their core values of faith, justice, community, and respect. And just spent 4 years feeling deeply uplifted by my teachers and fellow girl students around me, and just learned about the importance of women empowerment and bringing each other up rather than down. And during my time at the United Nations, I learned how Loretto just doesn't work within schools, but we have um, projects nationwide. For example, one group that the Loretto community works with at the UN is the Working Group on Girls, which works to help impoverished girls, not just nationwide, but worldwide. And so I just got to see all the great work that the Loretto community is doing.
One of the coolest things that I learned about Loretto this summer is the fact that it exists at all. I was definitely not aware of the huge diversity among faith based traditions, especially Catholic ones. I knew very little about the modern Catholic tradition coming into this summer and seeing how there are progressive groups within the larger institution that focus on really important values like Loretto's values of, promoting feminism and sustainability. That's been really exciting and new for me. And I'm so glad that Loretto exists and that it can be a resource and fight for people like me, even people who grew up outside of the Catholic tradition.
The most surprising part for me was the high level political forum. It was really interesting seeing countries accountable for their actions and seeing which countries are doing what for women empowerment, um, the environment, and the other sustainable development goals, and how one country stacks up to another, and how the US is in comparison um, to other countries around the world.
One of the most surprising parts of my experience this summer was how involved I was. I thought that I would be sitting behind a desk staring longingly at the UN across the street, but with the HLPF and other events, I genuinely felt like I was a part of the action. I even collaborated with some other civil society people on writing a shadow resolution at the HLPF, and I represented Loretto at an event with Mary Robinson. I just was surprised by how centered in the action I felt. And I'm extremely, extremely grateful for the experience that I got to have.